We have some important things to talk about involving drugs and alcohol. That's going to be the focus. I haven't really let you guys in enough on my world, and it almost feels criminal that I haven't told you enough about myself. I'm not going to give you guys my whole life story in this video. Perhaps the next video, I will give you my full life story. In this video, I want to talk about addiction because I'm an addict. When I was 19, I was exposed to marijuana for the first time. It was a gateway. Before I go too much further, I want to tell y'all, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to be preachy, and I don't want to come off as preachy. I'm not anti-drugs. I'm not. I am pro-moderation. And I was a stoner in my early 20s. I was like the stereotype of a stoner. Do me a favor as you're watching this video right now. Close your eyes. I want you to do this exercise with me. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture in your mind the stereotype of a stoner. Close your eyes and sit in your mind every stereotype, every single stereotype you can possibly think of about a stoner. Now open your eyes. That was me. I was almost every single stereotype of a stoner. I was at a friend's house, and mind you, when I went to this friend's house, I had no plans of getting high. I didn't. I just wanted to hang out with my homeboy. And I'm not going to call him out by name. We'll call him Kevin. For the sake of this story, his name will be Kevin. That's not his real name, but that's what we're going to call him. So, Kevin exposed me to weed. Because when I was in high school, I didn't do any drugs. I was unintentionally straight edge. My mom and my stepdad were kind of overprotective, right? I wasn't allowed to stay out too late on a school night. They were big about me not doing any drugs, drinking alcohol, any of that stuff. And I'm not blaming them for that. I'm not saying that led to my addictive personality necessarily. I was born with an addictive personality. Addiction runs in my family, right? My dad, if he's watching this, I love you, God bless you, is an alcoholic. He is. He's a functioning alcoholic, but he's still an alcoholic. My dad's dad was an alcoholic, and his dad was an alcoholic. And then my mom, Jesus Christ, a whole line of drug addicts and alcoholics. My uncle is an alcoholic. My mom's brother is an alcoholic. My cousin, who I will not name, is an alcoholic. Or, I'm sorry, not an alcoholic. He's a fucking drug addict. It's in my blood. I very much am predispositioned to be an alcoholic and to be a drug addict, if I so choose to go down that route. So I was exposed to weed for the first time when I was 19. So I didn't do any drugs of any kind, any alcohol. I was kind of scared to do them, right? I had some opportunities to try weed, to try psychedelics, to try multiple things. You know, I had the opportunity. It was there if I so chose to do it. But I never did. I never took advantage of it. I had the opportunity, always decided not to do it because I was scared. For that reason, right? Because my family, whole line of alcoholics, drug addicts, so I was always scared of what might happen. Also, I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac, so I always rely on Dr. Google to give me general advice on things. So it was much worse back then than it is now. But anyway, I'm getting off track. I was exposed to weed for the first time when I was 19. So late bloomer. And I've struggled with severe cases of anxiety my entire life. It started to get really, really bad when I was in like third grade. I must have been like 9, 10, 11 years old, somewhere in that range. I had terrible anxiety. I would have panic attacks. I'd have full-on meltdowns in the middle of class. I used to get made fun of a lot in school, all throughout school, because I had anxiety. And it transferred into my adulthood. And to this day, I still have anxiety. Well, I remember the first time I took a hit of the blunt. And my initial reaction when I took that first puff was, it was like time had froze. I didn't have a care in the world. I didn't have a worry in the world. It was like I was finally at peace. It felt great. It felt phenomenal. And I remember we watched Mac and Devin Go to High School, which is like a classic stoner movie if you don't know. It's got Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg in it. It's a great movie, but you can only watch it if you're high. If you're sober, you can't watch it. Don't watch it. Because it's not going to make sense. You're going to be like, this movie's stupid. If you're high, go and watch it. They say that marijuana is a gateway drug. And it kind of is. Because for some people, and for me especially, it is a bit of a gateway drug because I have an addictive personality. I'm a hedonist by nature. I am addicted to pleasure. I'm addicted to anything that gives me like that high, like that adrenaline rush, you know? Anything that alters my chemistry, I'm addicted to. That's why if I tried heroin even one time, or meth, or any drug that's like super addictive and super bad for you, I would be hooked immediately. Half my paycheck would go to it. And I say that to say that when you ingest any sort of substance into your body, any sort of mind-altering chemical, you need to be super aware of the kind of person that you are and the kind of effect that this drug is going to have on you. I will never, ever, ever sit here and tell anyone not to do anything. At the end of the day, these substances, these chemicals, they're here. They have certain functions. They do certain things to you, for you. And it's up to your discretion to decide what you want to do. But I'm telling you from personal experience that abusing these chemicals, abusing any drug, even something as lightweight as marijuana, because marijuana is a lightweight drug compared to all the pharmaceuticals that are out here, cocaine, meth, heroin, you fucking name it, fentanyl especially. But what I'm saying is that marijuana can be a gateway drug. It can. It depends. It depends on your personality. It depends on your level of self-control, your level of discipline. What I'm telling you is that first of all, I encourage you to not do any drugs at all. To an extent. I think the best advice that I could give anybody watching this video right now is to not do any drugs, period. But if you're gonna do any drug, if you're gonna drink, and let's be honest, alcohol is a drug. You can try to sit here and argue with me, alcohol's not a drug. Alcohol is a mind-altering chemical. It's a bodily-altering chemical. It's a fucking drug. Okay? It's a drug. If you're going to do anything, be mindful and understand that there's real consequences to getting hooked on these things, because it becomes a dependency, and you will put anything and everything off to support your habit. One thing that I always used to tell people was, ever since I started smoking weed, the things that used to matter to me don't anymore. And that is an extremely dangerous mentality over a long period of time. I think I said this in a previous video. It's a very dangerous mindset to have over a long period of time. And so I say that to say, moderation. I have wasted my 20s, the better part of my 20s, being high and drunk all the time. There was a lot that I could have done very early on. I had a lot of potential, and I wasted it. And I'm making up for it now. I'm doing my best to try to make things right, but it's difficult. It's more, the older you get, the more difficult it becomes. And so I just want to tell y'all that if you are in your early 20s or your mid 20s or even in your 30s, please heed the warning that I'm giving you, because you might be 18 or 19 in my case, because I got held back a year, so I graduated when I was 19. If you are headed into your early 20s, please understand that you may be 18, 19, 20 right now, but one day you're going to blink and you're going to be 27, and then you're going to blink again and you're going to be 37. And I don't want you to live with a life of regrets, thinking about what you could have done, what you should have done, what you would have done. And so I just urge you to proceed with caution with anything that you do, because every bad decision and every wrong turn will come back to haunt you. It will. I promise. I am an idiot, and I'm doing my best to try to make things right. But if I would have just made better decisions 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, I'd be in a much better place today. So that's it. That's really it. I want to encourage y'all, because I care about you guys and I love you guys. I want you to make good decisions, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I made. So, as always, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that every time I upload, you won't miss a single video. And I will see you all again in the next video.